Can we talk about revolving urinals, which I think is probably...
Was my idea.
It's a fantastic idea as well.
Idea.
I will never forget seeing that for the first time because I thought you were so brave during that whole time, I think, as well. But to actually do it in such a tongue-in-cheek way and almost laughing in the face of adversity.
Can I tell you how it happened?
Yeah,
it literally was... I'd already made Fast Love and Spinning the Wheel with two video directors, genius couple that were a couple and then were just a business couple, a working couple, called Anthea and Vaughan. And I'd already made those two, I think, spectacular videos, Fast Love and Spinning the Wheel. And Vaughan came to, they stopped working together, but Vaughan came to LA because he wanted to make something for Outside. And Vaughan sat with me looking very nervous, and I couldn't work out why. And then after about half an hour, he said, "Can I be really honest with you?" I said, "Yeah, of course you can." And he said, "Can we do it in a toilet?" So I sat and looked at him.
It's got to be a glitzy one, though, isn't it?
But I that's exactly right. I sat and looked at him, and it took me about 10 seconds to say, "Yes, but it's got to be a disco toilet." Right.
That's fantastic.
And that's basically as simple as it was.
Yeah.
And then I had that, and then I immediately had the idea of the revolving urinals and everything, which is my I think it's probably my favourite 3 seconds of any video I've ever made.
Did you ever think that was a bad thing to do, though? Did you ever consider that to be at the back of your mind that would go horribly wrong? Because I think you nailed it completely.
No, I didn't think it would go wrong. I thought if it's funny enough and if the record is good enough, then you can get away with murder.
People got it as well. I don't think it was just the gay community that got it. It was the straight people that thought it was funny too.
And the other thing was, as a man who'd stayed in the closet to keep his poor mother from worrying about HIV every day, who was desperate to come out. I showed my desperation to come out just in how I was almost complicit in the whole setup between the press and the police. Because believe me, it was a setup. I think I immediately thought, well, what can I do with this? As someone who had not been able, even though I'd spent a lot of time raising money for HIV over the past 15 years by that point, I suppose, I just felt, okay, what can I do in one fell swoop that I know will be good for some of the gay community? And I immediately thought, well, when I started cruising, which is when I was very young, I would have been so unbelievably thrilled if someone that I liked musically had made that video, because it would have lightened the burden of shame by, I don't know, 90%. I would have been thrilled. I would probably actually, it's probably a good thing it didn't happen. I probably would have done it the whole time. But the thing is, I thought this is really going to help some kids overcome some of their shame, if it's good enough for George Michael.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How do you feel about it now, looking back? Because obviously it was a while ago, and how do you think you've changed? Are you ever... Because you strike me as the sort of person that doesn't feel uncomfortable talking about it, which I think is great, because a lot of people probably would.
A lot of people, they don't talk about it.
Guilty,
or they lie.
Feel uncomfortable.
Or they lie and hide it from people. What's the point? In terms of discretion, that horse bolted that afternoon, didn't it?
And the fact that it's a tourist attraction now, that toilet as well.
Yeah, they have to constantly. That's their payback for actually having entrapped me, is that they have to have that toilet cleaned much more regularly, because the writing is just builds up on it It's like a little pilgrimage people make to that toilet. At least I've had them make a pilgrimage to a nice clean toilet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Beverly Hills, remember that, Beverly Hills.
Do you wish you'd come out sooner in hindsight?
Well, you know what? The truth is, I would have stayed probably. I'm sure once there was a public understanding, which I still don't think there is, of how treatable HIV is now. I think maybe then, maybe a little later, I would have come out, because I would have been able to explain to my mum, you don't have to worry about this. Is not a death sentence anymore. You don't have to worry about this happening every day, But I would have done it. I'd do it again, because I was protecting her, and the stigma and the fear and the death around HIV at the time was so real I thought, if I'm this neurotic about it, I mean, because I really was neurotic, I was more careful than careful, you know what I mean? And I thought, if I'm this neurotic about it, then my mother, I knew her so well, I knew it would be a constant weight on her. And it was stupid of me, I suppose, and she would have hated the fact that I did anything but live my life to protect her. But I would do it again. And I, for God's sake, when I made the older album and dedicated it to my late partner, around the stage of the promotion, at one point I had a proper handlebar moustache. I was trying in every way. I chopped the hair, got the moustache. I was trying in every way to say, look, I'm not trying to hide something here. I just don't want to talk to the press. That
was a great look. I'm a big fan of the tash, especially the handlebar tash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Also, I thought I could get away with it now the Edge had one.